everyone. Welcome to Aliens in July. I realized on the last episode of like when we recorded and filmed that we didn't really introduce ourselves, which
Is hilarious.
it's so funny.
It is pretty funny that we didn't do that. But in all honesty, you should already know who we are. You should already have been following the podcast for years and just already be super fans.
Yeah, way to blame the victims.
But-
So I want to start off by saying I'm Shivla. I just go by Shiv.
I'm Trent.
So there you go. And we've known each other since college a couple years ago. I think it's like around 5 or 6 now. I don't know.
It's been a while now, yeah.
So college, we've had this idea of the podcast since then. Like right away, I remember I would have notes on my phone that would be long as shit about the ideas we could do. And
A lot of it didn't work.
No, a lot of it didn't work. And like most of it was just like whatever. I know
We started just before COVID,
Yeah, it was just before COVID.
right?
Mhm.
Because we wanted to...
2019.
Or was it after?
No, it was just like
It was just
before. It's in
before, yeah.
December.
So yeah, we started... That's when
December.
the whole thing started. We're just now on YouTube. Second episode on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty excited that we're YouTubers, I guess, now.
But what was really funny was like when we first started was just the horrendous
Yeah.
amount of time it took us.
So when we first started doing this, the original concept we had for like of how we would like film was or record or whatever is that we should just like, hey, we should just like sit and talk for a few hours and then we'll
cut out
just
the best
clip
bits.
we'll clip the best things. And
Oh.
then what we realized is it's like 2 hours of just shit.
yeah,
It doesn't work.
I think one time we had 3 hours of recording and we had
we did, yeah.
4 minutes of good material.
It was so bad. It was great practice though.
A lot of it was just like, oh, let's talk about our friends, and we're like, this isn't good.
This is all horrible, yeah.
And then the main way we did it was like, all right, I want to do like wave sounds and transition noises, and like that came to it. But like we had just made
Our
lists.
first episode didn't have that though.
No, it didn't. It was just cut. It was like
It just was straight talking and it wasn't great talking, if we're being honest.
and yeah.
Unfortunately, I think that's still our most viewed episode.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore, thank God.
Yeah. So, and then like we updated it to like sketches and some lists and topics and like games, like the blindfold games we did, the salsa game we did.
And some of that was actually pretty decent, I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, or was that Season 1 still?
I think that was season 1. The majority of all that was
Damn. Yeah, Season 1 actually, towards the end, wasn't
because
bad.
we just did season 2 here. All of season 2 is here.
For some reason, when we first started in Season 1, only our odd-numbered episodes were like
That was another
were any good at
superstition.
all.
Yeah, only our odd numbers were good, and like we were just so like shit on the even numbers. It was for a while,
For like the single-digit episodes.
And
yeah.
it would also
We have
take us
got better.
about 3 hours.
And it
to
would
do.
take us all day to
3
make
to
one
4
episode.
hours.
Yeah,
And
insane.
if we did a double header, like we'd record it, we'd be there for 8 hours in that room. Which you could see the room. The last episode of season 1 is on there, but it's not. The audio isn't synced up.
Yeah, that was...
I could fix that actually.
We might want to look into it. I think we needed to make some other edits to that also,
Mm-hmm.
if I wasn't mistaken. But whatever, yeah.
But I wanted to also introduce you to this room we're recording in. I don't
Right.
think I really showed it off. So, obviously, from the last episode, Puerto Rico flag, we got these chairs that we don't really that I forget to
They're
mention.
thrones.
I forget to mention because Keith was laughing about that too. Like when we tried recording that episode, which I have a new podcast coming out called "Does This Count as Weird?" But he's like, yeah, these thrones are like everyone's like, oh, I love these chairs, and I forget that like because I'm so used to it. But I'm like, no, because no couch or chair should go above your head. Like this,
I kind of like them. They're weird though. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. And what's really funny was this should not be pink. This should all be black, like not black, but like this color of brown. There's like a layer of brown. But these, when I got them from my parents' house, were sitting in front of the sun, so they're sun beaten to shit. And one day I was living in my house before this, like with all my roommates, and like everyone's at work. I'm like, okay, I can't keep sweeping this up, so I took a butter knife. And I was like in a hairdryer, and I was like scraping it while holding a butter
just
knife.
shaved 'em?
With literally a butter knife. All of these couches. So down
That's
to,
so
like,
funny.
And it was like
I don't-
everywhere.
If you'd never told me that, I would have never known. They look fine.
I know it looks like it goes. I'm like, what?
And yeah, they feel okay.
So yeah, we got 2 thrones because we're 2 shit kings. But and then what else we got? We got a couch over here. You can't really see. I don't think you can. We have this board. Right
yeah,
here.
that board's pretty cool.
This board I painted in college, and I'm not a painter. I can't draw. I can't do nothing. It took 10 days to do this. That's how slow I am. I use tape, that die right here, which You can't even see that. There's a die that took 3 hours for my sister to draw because
It's supposed to be Tame Impala.
Yeah, here, hold on.
A lot of dead air right now. Sorry about that. But he's like getting the board. It's what is the name of this, Currents? Is that the album cover? Yeah. But it's instead of it just being like a circle, it's a die. And like we play like die and pong and shit on it.
Describe, because my mic's off, how this goes to.
And he's got a really good gradient from like the dark red into orange at the bottom, like around the die, like how the album looks. He actually did do a really good job with it, especially for like how he said not really like creative. But what's hilarious is one time we were using this like out front of our college house to play either like pong or die or whatever. And our neighbor friends came over and they were just like, "Oh, awesome table. Who painted it?" And literally it was like 20 dudes. Everyone raised their hand.
Yeah,
It was
everyone
like-
kept saying, "No, I painted it."
Everyone's like, "No, I painted it."
And I was
yeah.
like, I can't even say I painted it now because like they're no one's gonna believe me because this joke is like too much. I was like, no.
They were legitimately like confused as to who really painted it. It was so funny.
And I was like, damn, there goes my like one time. The text is on the
Yeah,
table.
Tex just jumped up on the table behind the like under the camera.
But anyway, so that's really fun. We play games on it. I'll put it like tonight. Speaking of which, I'm throwing a party because it's the end of our job that me and Trent worked at together at Web Help is officially ending.
Wow. I
So,
can't believe I thought they already had ended. but-
Well, it's end of March, but like I was like, all right, I kind of want to throw a party, even though I don't work there, but all my friends did, like a majority of my friends. So I'm throwing a party, which that means tonight I'm gonna clean this whole area up, get rid of like all this podcast stuff. I'll leave. I don't know how I'm gonna set this up, but I know this is gonna be out. It's gonna make an appearance over here.
Interesting. Well, I can't wait for that. That'll be fun.
So yeah, I love throwing parties here.
Parties are great. Going out's fun. We went out last night, and pretty like I would say standard night for us, except for one thing. We brought Tex to a bar that we usually do take him to. That's really not out of the ordinary. But what was out of the ordinary about this place last night was that they had like a DJ. And yeah, he kept doing that horn. The music was fine. The fact that it was like crowded and there was loud music, Tex he's cool with all that, like
Yeah.
for real. But then they just had this fucking like air horn noise that they kept
It's like the
playing.
only sound he had.
It was so bad.
It
It
was
was the only sound. It was that or
da-na-na-na.
music. It was hilarious. Anyway, every time that went off, that did kind of piss Tex off. So like he just spent most of the night sitting on my lap, which is weird for him. He never does that kind of shit. He's not like
But yeah,
cuddly or whatever.
yeah, but he was just like, all right, that noise is making me mad. Let me just chill here.
That was pretty funny.
Um,
But other than that, we tried to invent a card game.
Well,
Well, we
hold
tried
on.
to invent a couple.
I do want to talk about like how many bars we hopped last night.
Sure, yeah.
So
Because we went to that new one with the fish.
yeah. So like the first thing is Trent came here at like 6, and I was like, yeah, let's just go. Let's go out
Fuck
immediately.
it, let's go out now.
Because
Yeah,
I was like, the sun's out. It's so nice out. Like I
It
do
was.
not want to sit here.
I was so down for it.
So I was like, fuck yeah. So we grabbed our shit and we walked all the way to QCR, which is where I take Tex, and we played pool there. And Trent got something to eat. How's the burger?
It was okay.
What
it was
would you
pretty
rate
good. Just pretty mid. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, that's
But
fine.
as far as like for bar food goes, like pretty good.
So yeah, that Trent got food there. We played 2 games of pool, went outside, sat, and then the amount of times we went back to my place was kind of funny because like I was like, all right, it's kind of getting cold, so I was like, let's go back to my place, and I was like, let me put on a sweater. So I did, forgetting that like kind of remembered at that time my garage door for my place was like kind of open, it wasn't closing, so I was like, yeah, I gotta lock the door too.
Yeah, this place has some issues with doors.
So yeah, so I put on my sweater. Then we went to another bar. We got a few drinks there. I taught Trent a card game, which we'll get into the card game stuff. But I did teach one of my old family card game.
Right.
You need 2 decks for that. So then we went back here because I was like, damn, I forgot to close the door. So like this is the 3rd time, but I was like, fuck it, no, yeah. We came back here, grabbed some. We dropped off some things.
We made like 4 trips back.
Yeah,
here
every
while
time
we
we
were out.
yeah we didn't
Between
bo-
every bar, we basically came back.
Came back here, dropped some things off, locked the door. Then we went to a bar with a giant fish tank.
Yeah, this big ass fish tank, like right in the middle of. It's like a circle bar. It's not very big.
Yeah, it's
and
like
then the seating's just in like a square around it.
It's very small.
I thought
but-
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's very dim lit. Like you can't really see anything.
Yeah, it's like a place that's trying to be fancy. And they've
And-
got fancy cocktails named after the fish.
Yeah, which I was like, at one point I was like, I gotta ask if they got names, 'cause there's a lot of fish. So I was like, do they have names? She goes, yeah. And she just gives me a book, and I did not look at the book.
No,
It was-
she confused the fuck out of me when
Yeah.
she handed you the book because I didn't understand that the cocktails were like the names of the fish. Was it like the species?
I'm gonna be
of
honest.
them, or like you
when
didn't even look.
I
I didn't look either.
I was just looking at like the words. I wasn't even reading it.
Hilarious.
And I can't believe I didn't even look. I didn't look at one word.
No, me
I didn't read
neither.
one word. I was like, what the hell? So we came back here after that, and then I was like, let's go get Tex and bring him out, and we did. And after that, like after
He enjoyed it. Tex loves going out.
yeah. So like I met some people. I was like, yo, throwing a party tonight. You guys should come. And they're like, okay. So like that, I don't know if they're gonna pull up. I gotta see how many people come here before I start texting people, because I don't want them to show up like if it's not that many. Anyways,
Right.
so then Trent was talking about one of the first things we did at the beginning of the night or beginning of the day was like I always like to come up with card games when we can't think of anything, at least for two people. We played Speed a little bit, but I was like, let me like think of a card game let me invent one right now. And always get close. I always have the concept down.
We had something that was like almost a game.
Yeah, and like my when it comes to card games, they're really hard for me to make because I don't know what to do. But the one thing I will say is I do come up with decent names for them.
The names for them are pretty fire. Like what? So what were they last night?
One of them was Russian Dentist.
One of them was Russian Dentist. And
I was
the
like,
other
that could
one-
work.
The other one was Squirrel's Conundrum.
Yeah. So
And-
those are the two names. I was like, these could work.
They when we switched off of like trying to figure out what Russian Dentist was, and we were like, okay, this new game, Squirrel's Conundrum, and then it was like the same exact game.
Yeah.
And either way, we couldn't make it work. We were very close.
We were, but like actually it was kind of working. And Russian Dentist involved one Joker, and you just bet how many cards each of you lay out.
Yeah. We actually got like parts of this that actually were kind of fun.
Yeah,
But
the only thing was after the first game. The first game was hilarious, actually.
oh my god,
Yeah,
the first game.
the
So,
very
yeah.
first game.
So the very first game, the Joker was like the very last card.
Yeah, and the whole point of the game is try to guess. Like if I say I bet 4 cards, you lay 4 cards out, he lays 4 cards out, and we just go higher or lower, and then you say there's a Joker, no Joker before you all flip them.
Right.
So like the entire time we're like no Joker, no joke. We're just trying to feel it, and then
And then we got all the way to the end. And we're like, okay,
the last card.
the last couple hands were both like, it's obviously coming. Like, there's got to be a Joker.
There's a
Like, there's
Joker
a
here.
fucking Joker in the deck. We know there is. And it was literally like the last card we pulled was the Joker.
And I was like, there's
We're
no
like,
way.
how did that happen?
There's
If we
no
played
way-
this a million more times, that won't happen.
There's no way in our very first game that the Joker appears at the end of the game.
So then we played it again, and with modified rules a little bit.
We kind of honed it
And
down.
I was like, okay, I feel like the Joker's gonna be like right in the middle this time because it was like right at the end last time. It's gonna be right in the middle, and then I got it right on that one. We're
Yeah.
like, okay, so what does that mean though? Like what?
I was like, you finished your drink, but then we realized that the game got boring really fast.
What I think we need to do is just like look up an obscure card game that like people don't really know about, and then just pawn it off as like, oh, hey, we invented this, and then
Yeah.
give it one of those crazy ass names.
I kind of like that idea.
I think that's where we got to go with it.
But yeah, my only thing is with 2 people, like I got to think of more card games when it's just us, 2 or 3 people.
Right.
Because I only know ride the bus, fuck the dealer, which you need a bunch of people, screw your neighbor, which you need a bunch of people, pyramid, which is a lot, you need a bunch of people. I need to figure out like more card games that are like less.
I don't know that many card games. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. I know like all the ones you said because they're the ones we play, but that's it.
So like yeah, I do love coming up names for them though. They're very fun to. Let me try to think of one right now. No, let me try. I'm thinking of like the Palace. we could call one the Palace.
Just the palace.
Yeah, and that's a drink.
Wasn't there like a circle game?
Yeah, there
that you
was.
tried to invent.
It
where,
was
you
something
put all
like
the cards in a
Yugoslavian circle or something, or Czech. I forget. It was something. It was a country
They
and a
just-
circle.
Country names seem to work well with like card
They
game
do.
names.
For some reason,
For some
they
reason,
do.
it just makes it sound like, oh, it's more intriguing. It's from a place I'm not at.
Yeah, like
For no reason, yeah.
I just for some reason it just works. Like at least for Russian Dentist, I was like, okay, we got the name. Like
Russian Dentist is a good name. We're gonna come up with an actual game for Russian Dentist. That'll be a real
Squirrel's
thing.
Conundrum. I
And
forgot about
probably
that
Squirrel.
one.
We probably need to do one for that.
I
too.
did forget about that when I woke up, and then you're like, you remember what you said? And I was like, what? And you're like, we're playing the card game. Like you've thought of Squirrel's Conundrum, and I was like laughing so hard. I'm like, damn, because I remember
It's
you were
just such a
laughing
dumb
so
name,
hard.
yeah.
It's
It's
ridiculous.
so dumb.
What else did we do? I think, I I think the rest of the night was okay. I mean, like I did dance a bit, which I liked, but like the rest of the night, you got Gomez that night last night, so that was cool. I always ask if I'm like, because I was like, I'm going back home, but I was like, if they have fish, which
No,
is
they haven't probably had fish in like a month because
it's so rare. You guys don't
well, it's
get
like
it.
Lent right now too. It's like everyone like
Is eating
there's
fish?
there's a lot of fish orders are up. Yes.
Yeah, I always forget the rules about that. My mom texted me last night. She goes, "What are you doing?" And I was like, fighting minorities, just like as a joke. And she's like, haha, very funny. Are you at a bar? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, remember, you can't drink. It's Good Friday or whatever.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have like different rules than us.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit because
Just a
you said
little
you
bit.
couldn't eat meat on Wednesday either.
My mom
and
says
I've
that.
never ever heard
My
that.
mom says, she's like, I can't eat meat today. It's Wednesday. I'm like, and then I'll be like, what about
Yeah.
today? She goes, it's Thursday. I'm like, what days?
Yeah.
I get so confused as a kid, bro.
If you just want to be like vegetarian, tell us. Like it doesn't have to be.
I'm like, what? Yeah. She goes, no, I'll never do that. I'm like, what days? Because I remember as a kid, she would always be like, hey, don't forget, you can't eat meat today. I'm like, it's like a Tuesday. I'm like, what are you talking about here? Because I know the Fridays and during Lent too, it's like a rule. You can't. There's so many.
Right.
But apparently, I didn't know this. In Lent, you can give up. The thing you're giving up is you can do it on Sundays.
Yes.
We never did that.
So that's like another. I don't know. Like not everyone follows that. Like a lot of people like say that that's not a real thing. What I'd always heard that is that on Sunday, if after you've gone to church, you can take like a break on whatever your thing was. But I don't.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who started that.
Yeah,
Like-
that seems like an urban.
Why
legend.
would you? Yeah. What's the point then?
Yeah. So that's pretty much there. One thing I'm excited for that's coming up in 5 days after this episode airs is the eclipse. I know you don't give a shit about it.
Well, so here's the thing about the eclipse is that I'm seeing all these conspiracy theories and shit
What?
about it.
What are you seeing?
So that like it's gonna cause we have been having a lot of like solar flares recently, and they've been like really strong, and people are like, oh, the last time we've had solar flares like this, it fucked up like electrical shit. But that was like a long time ago, back before they really had a massive grids and shit like what we have now. And so the theory is like, oh, it's gonna like plunge us into blackness and everything. And I thought the eclipse was supposed to have a bunch of solar flares attached with it. Maybe
No,
not.
I think what it is that we could see this because it's nighttime.
It'll make it be dark.
Yeah, that you could start seeing the solar flares. It's not like because the moon is not affecting the sun.
Yeah, so
it's
I'm
just-
really misinformed about like what any of this shit is. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah, they're so far apart.
All of my news is like from TikTok about this.
Yeah,
And
it's already a good start.
right. And then the other thing I saw is that we're supposed to see the northern lights apparently.
We are.
Yeah. Like
Oh.
the visibility for them is going to be like a huge range because of like the increase of the solar flares.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Hopefully we do. I heard.
I don't know if this is all happening at the same time though. I guess that's where I'm like
Well, my
a bit
thing
lost.
is, what if it's cloudy?
It probably will be.
Yeah, so like, what if?
Dude, we live in like Cincinnati. It's probably going to be raining.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that because there could still be eclipse, but it doesn't mean that the sky's gonna be clear. Like it could just be straight
Listen,
cloud.
I don't plan on doing anything different. I plan on going to work and then like I'll just be sitting at my desk and it'll like start getting dark outside and I'll be like, oh cool, the eclipse, and then
Wow.
hopefully I don't get plunged into blackness and all the computers go broke and like some Y2K shit happens. That's basically the conspiracies I've been seeing is that like Y2K shit is gonna happen.
I feel like that's been through generations of version.
People,
of that.
I feel like people say that every like 5 to 10 years.
every when it's a year like 666 or 555 or like 333.
Well, that was pretty cool when it was like the 2000s, and then you had those dates line up. It'd be like 333, 444.
Yeah, I miss those. I am gonna bring my cat. I want to see what his reaction to is when
The eclipse.
Yeah, I definitely. And I've heard because the way it is right now, Cincinnati is like 99, but like if you drive at least 30, 40 minutes north towards like Cleveland,
Yeah.
you'll get 100%. And
Well-
people say 99 and 100% is completely different. So I was like, okay, I'll definitely go check.
I don't think you have to go that far out of Cincy. We're pretty close to the path.
We're pretty
You
close.
I think you just got to go a little bit more north.
Yeah, that's which I plan on doing. And apparently the next eclipse to happen in Cleveland is going to be 400 years from now. I was like, damn, what are the odds that we're born at this specific?
Well, probably. I mean, for that specific eclipse, I have no idea what the odds are. But just in general, like, what are the odds that you see like some crazy outer space shit? I feel like pretty good because I feel like in my lifetime I've seen all kinds of like comets and things that they're like, oh, this is a 1 in 1,000 year thing or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know.
The one I really want to
I
see.
feel like there's been eclipses before, right?
There has, but not like to this. Like, is it 100%? Well, I remember a few years ago we had one.
Yeah,
But it wasn't 100% for us.
all right.
So this is different. One thing I really want to see is
The
Halley's
only
Comet.
the only eclipse I give a fuck about, just as we're on record, is a Mitsubishi eclipse. For whoever was interested, yeah.
The one thing I'm excited for is in like 2080, I think it is 2060 is Halley's Comet. So
And what is that?
that's the one that comes like every 80 years, 90 years.
80 to 90 years?
Something
Okay.
ridiculous, like an insane amount of time.
Is that what's the one thing that's like floating around space? That's like it's like the Black Knight comet.
I don't know about that. Explain that one.
So people think it's maybe like an alien monitoring ship or something like that.
Oh.
But it's this massive piece of like
Oh,
basically
a
space
rock?
debris.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
know what you're
rock.
talking about now.
It's huge. And it looks like
People are like, a rock could never look like that. I'm like, dude,
Basically,
you know how
yeah.
much rocks are in space?
people
What are
like,
we talking about
There's
here?
nothing that could possibly be. It's aliens.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that, but I think it's interesting. I think at one point NASA even said this is maybe like a thermal blanket that like fell off of something and is like orbiting this space.
That's
just
scary.
given the weird shape.
My thing with aliens is I don't think we'll ever see or hear one because we live
It's
so
funny
far
that we're
away.
actually now talking about aliens and we're called Aliens in July. We never actually
Never
talked about
have we
aliens.
ever-
I don't think we've ever actually talked
After
about
50
aliens.
episodes, it's the first time talking about it.
Hilarious.
I don't think we'll ever see them. We're so
No.
far away.
Why would they want to? Why would they want to come and like talk to us?
And even
like,
if they could see us from wherever they're at, they'll see nothing because we're so far away. Like 90, if you're 10,000 light years away, you're just gonna see 10,000 years ago.
that's a really good point.
So
And
you're not seeing shit.
it would take them so long to get here, and there's the only reason they would take so long to get here would be if they want to like take us over,
Yeah.
because they're not going to come.
You know the mindset of an alien.
I mean, okay, so like when we first discovered, like North America,
We
we pretty much just like
that's
took it
so
over.
different from aliens.
I think it would be basically the same thing for like aliens to come here and like, why wouldn't they just like colonize it?
You want to hear a conspiracy theory I heard?
Sure.
Okay, so it's about aliens, but apparently when you look up the sky and look at the North Star and then like two stars next to it, like there's Polaris and all that. One of them's good alien. Two of them are good aliens. One of them's an evil group of aliens. So like that's apparently what is being told. This is deep into like I've found.
But there's like supposedly a bunch of different types of aliens too. There's like the ones that kind of look like us, but they're like blonde hair, blue eyed. Then like
Oh, just missed it by that.
there's
much.
like the grays, which is your standard like big black eyed gray aliens. There's like ones that are like insects.
You know what
There's a lot of weird. There's lizards.
You know what also really confuses me about space? That we really don't know what it actually looks like because every time we look at a star that's like 1,000 light years away, we're like, or like anytime we look at a galaxy, it's like that's 4.5 million light years away. We actually don't know what anything looks like because we're all looking in the past. Everything's
Right.
so we have no idea what any space looks like today.
I would like to think that there is intelligent life that's like looking at Earth and they just see all these dinosaurs and like, holy shit, that's horrifying. Let's not go there ever.
Actually, you might be right about that because like imagine like just
They just see pterodactyls and T-Rexes and they're like,
what the fuck?
yeah, we're so fucked if we land. Like we've got all this technology. Those things are huge.
Mm-hmm.
I just picture aliens as being like shorter than us.
I know.
They might be massive. I feel like they're like 3 feet tall.
Yeah, I feel like we're very
Honestly.
tall when it comes
Yeah.
to. I feel like we're very.
I don't know why that would be, but I just don't think they're big.
I think it's because, one thing that I've always found interesting is like every Hollywood movie depiction of an alien is like generally the same with the gray and the big eyes, and the like balloon
Yeah.
head. So it makes me think like, well, there has to be a little truth to like, because why else would every single one of those directors and studios make it look exactly like that or a version?
Who had the first version? I wonder.
Who did the radio talk? Who was like everyone thought the world was
Oh
ending?
yeah, War of the Worlds.
Yeah, was that Orwell or something?
Yeah,
Yeah. Apparently they're making a movie or audio.
they
of
already.
that.
Well, they made a movie
yeah.
back in the 2000s with Tom Cruise.
I was actually scared. I was actually pretty scared when I.
Did you watch it?
I was too scared. I'm terrified of like when I was a
Aliens
kid.
actually do scare me.
Yeah, they
but
do.
That movie was okay. But the thing that kind of ruined that movie for me, I did actually kind of like that movie as a kid, but Scary Movie 4, I think it was. Like that's like a one of the main movies it spoofs, and so it just kind of ruins.
What happened in it? Like,
So like they just I don't know, they're just moving across the country because like aliens are attacking them, and they're like in these huge ass pods, and they I don't know, they're like the military's trying to fight them off, and like they're just I really don't remember. I haven't seen this shit since like the 2000s when it came out.
yeah, I
And
don't.
I just
Yeah.
remember they were like walking the whole time.
What's you're probably gonna hate this is I'm kind of like I've been recently like a couple of months ago I've been like big into Tom Cruise movies. I was like, damn, because I'm just so curious, like how good of an actor he is, and he's actually not bad.
He's he's pretty good. He's definitely like someone that is worth going back and like kind of looking at their shit because he was in a lot of good movies.
Yeah, what it was so interesting to me is that he went from like actual movies to then he just flipped to this. I actually want to do action movies. Like I don't know why.
And yeah, I don't really love action movies, so I mean I don't really like him that much. He did do like some what's the sports agent movie?
Jerry Maguire.
That one's good, and I like Days of Thunder, obviously. But
Eh.
Days of Thunder actually kind of sucks.
Which one's Days of Thunder?
It's the NASCAR one.
Yeah, I actually want to watch that one. And you tell that
It's
one
it's
funny.
pretty good. So this is like, and many people probably already know this because it is like one of the biggest like
that rare fact that no one knows.
it's one of the biggest film fuck ups in like Hollywood history. But so there's a scene in this movie where they're like, he's going to meet another driver and his family, and they're like at his house, and it's like a big beach house or whatever, and they're like walking like in the yard or in the beach or whatever, something like that, and him and the driver are talking, and the wife comes up, and she just instead of saying whatever his name in the movie is, I forget, but she just walks right up and goes, "Oh, hi, Tom."
Yeah.
It's just his actual name, and they just left it. No one caught it. It made it through however many phases of editing.
Here's my theory on that. I don't think they like when it comes to. I think they only do like a final watch like 3 times. I think
I don't
that's
know. I mean, how the fuck would we know?
because you're just when you're editing something, you're watching the clips, you can just see it pace out. So I feel like you're not.
I mean, we do no editing on this.
We used to.
We used
a lot,
to,
and I love doing
so
that.
much.
I love editing and directing and all that. It's so fun for me. Yeah, I gotta watch that movie though. That movie, it was the only like NASCAR thing I'll ever like give time and energy to.
NASCAR's fun. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm shaking my head no.
We don't really have any racing stuff to talk about. There's no.
So this
F1.
one's just gonna talk about us mainly. And oh, thank you, Trent, for mentioning. Yes, these Crocs are nice, and I wanted to talk about how ridiculous my past life was with shoes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just transitioning.
Hell of a segue. Yeah.
I
Let's
know.
just jump right into it.
I want to start off by saying, yeah, I get made fun of a lot because how shit I don't give a fuck about shoes. Like I just never do.
Right.
And one of the things was as a kid, I would get a pair of shoes and like I'd use them for running, walking, anything. That one pair of shoes, like it would always be running shoes because I was in cross country. So they'd run like miles and miles in dirt and gravel and like roads and sidewalks.
Yeah,
and,
shoes actually like have like a mileage
do they?
marker on them. Yeah.
I didn't know that. So like my parents would just give at least for me because I didn't care. So I always thought in my head, well, yeah, everyone just needs one pair of shoes. I thought about that for about like 20 years till like recently, and I wanted to actually show one pair of shoes that I used to wear a lot till like last year. But you could see there's a
How
giant.
they're ripped out.
They're ripped out. I'd wear these. I didn't even care. I would dance and wear these last year.
Yeah, I
for
feel like I
just
remember
like
you
this.
wearing those. Yeah.
Just like this. I did not care. But there would be a toe peeking out. And a lot of people are like, please, I'll just buy you shoes. And I'm like, no, I don't need them. I just don't need them. But now I'm getting a little better at that.
Well, I mean, that's good that you don't like just throw a bunch of money away on shoes, I guess, for one thing. I mean, not that there's wrong with the people who do like shoes and that's what they do. I used to be that way. My big thing was in like high school or whatever, was I just really liked having a shoe for like each color. Like I had like red ones, green ones, blue ones, orange, whatever, black ones, white ones. You get it.
Yeah. Were they all the same
And,
brand?
They were mostly like all Nike or Jordan.
Okay.
But I don't. Yeah, I just have like 3 shoes now. I just kind of rotate. I just don't try. I just try to not to fuck them up. That's all.
Yeah. No, I agree with that because that's just another headache. I'd be like, damn, which
Right.
ones would go with these? The less options for me, the happier I am.
One of my pairs of shoes, those white Air Force Ones I wear all the time, I didn't even want those. Like I never would have bought those. I had to wear them for a wedding.
Oh, that is right.
Yeah,
And
like
now you love them.
well, I do think they're pretty good. And I would maybe get like another pair later on. And I think I had some before too, but I love when people just come up and like compliment me on them, and I'm like, I really don't give a fuck about these. Like,
That's hilarious.
they're just shoes.
You know what's funny is when we were leaving Puerto Rico, Kareem was like, "I'm gonna leave these shoes like Air Force Ones here." I'm like, "Don't do that." I got mad. I was like, "Dude, do not leave shoes. Like they're fine." I was like, "They're bar shoes. Just wear them for bars." He goes, "I would never do that." And I'm like, "Why? You just wear a new pair and get them scuffed up?" He goes, "No, but like, I just would never. I'm never gonna wear these again." And I was like, "Do not leave them here. Just do not, because they're gonna get tossed away by." He's like, "No, they might." I'm like, "No one's gonna keep those." So then he went up to Clay. He's like, "Do you want these?" And Clay was like, "Yeah, I'll take them." And I was like, "All right, I'm cool with that."
That's pretty cool. When I was there, I think I did leave a pair of flip flops because like they were like the super shitty ones and they like ripped through.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not. Why would I bring these back?
That's so funny because we went to
different
Marshalls
different thing than
and I
his,
bought
though.
flip flops, and I bought these too.
Yeah, I can't remember if they were ones I bought there or not, or like I'm sure they were.
No, yeah, I. Well, let me. What else?
I don't really wear beach. Like we're in Cincinnati. I don't have beach stuff.
Oh,
really.
that's good. I wouldn't imagine you just come in here with like a tank top and whatever.
I mean, we go to the lake, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah, we did have an idea about getting your pontoon boat all the way from where you live to here, or at least to Toledo.
Well, we could get it down to Cincinnati way easier.
How long would that take? How long does it take to drive a boat?
So we basically what we would do is just put it in. You could put it in the Muskingum and then into the Ohio and then just down to.
That
Cincy.
sounds fun.
That's all you got to do because we're everywhere. It's like right.
Let's do that one weekend. Let's record and actually do that.
And record floating down. Yeah, we could try to do something like that.
That would be a great episode.
It'll take a while.
Like
I wonder how long it would take.
We could just keep recording up. We'd have like
so
10
much
episodes.
longer than a car.
We could have like 10 or 15 episodes of just on a boat.
Hey guys, we're still floating here.
We're still floating. We're still going down. I have no idea where we're at.
We're somewhere in Ohio.
We're running low on food and water. And then someone in the background is like, "Hey, you guys need help?" No. No.
Yeah, you will. I mean, if we actually did do that trip, you would see some crazy shit along the river and like out east of here.
You like
where
what?
It's like really rural and like on the border of West Virginia. It's just super rural.
Oh, we go through like near
Like-
West Virginia?
Yeah, that's what the whole thing will be like on the side
Ooh.
for the eastern part,
That
and
sounds
then
like-
and then it'll be Kentucky.
Okay, that sounds like a good fun time.
And I don't really know too much about like northern Kentucky. I'm gonna be real honest, but I do know the border of Ohio and West Virginia pretty well, and it's a little freaky.
Yeah, it's scary territory.
It's definitely like
It's munting season out there.
yeah, it's
Munter
definitely
Biden out
like
there.
some hills have eyes shit. Yeah,
Okay, we should do that.
it would be cool. Yeah,
I would love to like. I love boats so much.
boats are great.
They're, you know what it is? They're fun to have a friend who hasn't never owned a boat.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I'm so glad it's my parents'
Dude,
shit.
I saw a TikTok. Someone's like, "Hey, you can buy this boat for $250,000. It's like a living boat. You could sail the world." It was just a sailboat / like I think it had a few engines, but he said it's $250,000, and he was like, "But most houses today are $400,000." I'm like, "Yeah, but nobody's having $400,000. Like they're getting loans from the bank, which I don't know if you could do that with a boat." The other thing though that really interested me was he said, "Always save 10% for maintenance each year. 25,000 a year."
For maintenance.
Yeah, just to have on the river.
For that kind of a sailboat.
Yeah, they say always. Apparently, his rule is like keep 10% for maintenance on any boat. So 25,000 a year.
Boats are they're
They're
very
shit.
expensive,
They go to they get.
and a lot of the fees in boats come with like docking them. So like my parents, they just keep their shit at like one lake. And anyway, two different lakes, two different boats, but they both do the same thing, and that shit keeps getting like way more expensive. Like
Yeah.
each I mean, obviously each year it goes up. But
Yeah,
like,
it makes no sense how it's getting more expensive. It's like the same water.
but
and
it's
the
right.
same dock.
It's right. It's like why
Why-
is it getting more expensive though? Yeah.
It's like when those parking spots are like, "Hey, this event's now $15 to park here." I'm like, "How? Did the spot just automatically like gain value?" No. Did you weren't
So
here?
I don't know.
Speaking of which, you weren't here for opening day.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, I came back from work, and me and Keith tried to record, but I did see some photos of the banks, and it was packed like sardines.
Yeah, I mean, I watched some of the game at work. It looked like a complete sellout. We did a lot of cool stuff
we
at
win?
work. Yeah,
Who did we play?
the Nationals. I think the final score was like 6 or 7-2.
Who's the Nationals?
DC.
Oh, I didn't know DC had a team.
They used to be the Montreal Expos, and then they moved. It's a whole big thing. Montreal's like putting billions of dollars into their already like what was a $3 billion stadium.
I know what we could talk about is the new NFL rules.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it sounds like we're wrapping up with sports stuff
We somehow did
as we usually do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the NFL is trying to adopt the XFL's kickoff rules, is my understanding. It'll increase player safety and honest. I mean, I don't give a fuck about kickoffs. No one does.
I kind of do.
Do you like the kickoffs?
It's it's a little different. Anything that's like different in a sport, like free throw shots or kickoffs, fakes, like anytime a sport's a fake, I love that shit. Anytime they like go for it on fourth, I love that shit.
The only thing that was fun about kickoffs when I played was that you could like fuck someone up on them, but that's like the whole problem. They're
I
like,
know,
yeah,
it's bad.
we shouldn't have that. There should be a part where you're like, it's a free for all.
I want to see the people who are mad at that. Like, no, you're ruining the game. Like, dude, they're ruining their brains.
I mean, yeah, when you're playing football, you just decide, okay, how much CTE do I want to have? And everyone makes their own choices. If you want none, then you don't play. But if you're like, I could deal with a little bit, like then that's fine. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Because some athletes are smart for sure, but many of them aren't. Let's be honest. And many of them they're not going to use their brains.
Dude,
for too
my
much.
friend said that because I was like, dude, I forgot how it came up years ago. He said, dude, so many athletes are like dumb and like, just like
They just are, yeah.
yeah. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. He was like, you're so right about that. I was like, you're so right. I don't know why. I just always assume people with like money are like know a little bit more.
No, and you would think that like
They don't.
the fact that they are around so many different people and go so many different places, they would be like cultured a little bit in some ways, but no, many of them it's just like airport, whatever, gym, field, and then that's it. Back off to the airport.
Yeah.
I mean, hotel too, maybe, but
Speaking of, I'm supposed to get my losing trophy from
your fantasy losers.
from my big one.
Yeah, you had a historically bad team.
I think I won like 2 or 3 games, and the next person above me was like 7 to 8.
Yeah, your league's stats were crazy because of how bad you were.
And my brother was like, "Why didn't you?" He's like, "You keep getting like your friends to pick. Why didn't you?" I'm like, "I did pick it this time." I was like, "Look how bad I did." In my other league, I just let auto draft picked it because I forgot.
Some of my best teams have been auto drafted. I'm not gonna lie, that's really not a bad thing to do.
I don't want to be in it anymore.
I like the fantasy league I'm in. It's pretty competitive, a pretty good parity. My team is like right in the. I've got a pretty mid team. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's a 12-person league. I'm pretty sure I've got like the 5th ranked team all time. So I mean,
yeah,
it's tough. It's definitely a good league.
Well, shit. Let me try to think if we can like wrap up on something.
What if we did fantasy for like crazy ass sports? Like I'm in a NASCAR fantasy league too.
That's horrendous.
And that's
like
the
worst thing I've ever
And I'll be
heard.
honest, and I don't exactly understand how the points work.
Oh my god.
Um,
Formula One had one that me and like Logan did, and it was so everyone was confused. There's a budget cap, and each driver had like was worth this much. It was confusing.
Yeah,
as
so
shit.
that's kind of how this was. You had all the drivers were given like a money rank depending on like how good they are or like how often they win. And yeah, we got to fuck around with text a little bit right now. Sorry, but you had an $80 cap, and so you had to pick 5 drivers. And I thought I picked a pretty good lineup, but I feel like my points should be higher. I'm just not quite sure how the
I hate
scoring
fantasy, and I hate everything about sports. I just, oh my god, it makes me so mad when something like watching a team that you just really want to win and they don't win. It makes me more mad. I get more mad than I get happy if my team wins. Like that emotion of mad just outweighs. So that's why I hate it.
I see what you're saying, and I kind of agree with you. I love how you said whenever I'm watching sports, like, it's crazy how you just get pissed at everyone. You get pissed at the other team for beating your team, and you get pissed at your own players for like not being good enough to beat them.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, it's not even. It's just I'm more annoyed. And the other thing is, if I'm ever like watching anything, I just root for the underdogs. And then there's
Yeah,
always
that's what
like,
I usually
people
try
are
to
like,
do.
"Whoa, this team, is been winning for like 3 years, but they're projected to lose this game, and I'm like, oh, now you just put so much like factors in this. I don't even care anymore. All I want to know is who the underdog for the game is, and then, like if it comes up like, oh, they actually beat them 10 years in a row, I'm like, well then fuck, I hope they lose.
Who do you like in March Madness? Anyone?
Villanova.
I don't think they were in it this year.
Uh,
They might have got. If they were,
where-
they've got knocked out already.
Where are we? Because I've not watched a single game. I don't know what
we're
round we're in.
we're wrapping up the Sweet 16. I
Are
think.
people watching it this year?
Yeah, people are
Okay.
watching it. I've been gambling on it. I've done okay. I actually won a big bonus bet the other night. That was on baseball though. But either way,
Yeah. Okay. Then I
things
guess.
are looking up for my BetMGM account.
Yeah. Any bets today?
Not yet. I think. Well, the big game I'm interested in is Clemson and Alabama.
Who's projected to win?
I think probably Alabama.
Alabama.
But
So I'll root for Clemson.
Clemson's been on a pretty good hot streak.
Who-
So
wait,
it's hard to say.
Who was like the biggest, like the lowest seed that's made it the furthest?
Well, yeah, let's look this shit up.
Because what was it, like Florida State Gulf Coast or whatever? That one year that they went. Then the next year, the couple years after
Yeah.
that, some other team. Last year was it that some other
It
team?
was Florida Gulf Coast a few years ago.
What was
and
the one
then-
team that made it really far?
Florida Atlantic did pretty well.
There was
a
like
couple years ago too.
Like last year or like 2 years ago, there was a team.
Last year's my favorite all-time Cinderella March Madness team was I think it was the 2006 George Mason Patriots. They went to the Final Four, and that was a school that no one had heard of before then, and I think a lot of people have forgotten about that now.
What year was that?
2006, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know. Okay, yeah, I want to know what was like the biggest upset this year was, or like what's the lowest ranked seed that's made.
Okay, so we've got Illinois and UConn, and then Clemson and Alabama, and for some reason it's not giving me the odds numbers.
Just bet whoever,
It's just yeah.
dude. All right, we're gonna.
Okay, so wait, you said the biggest upset this year?
I want to know like what was the biggest upset? Because somebody on Twitter said the last 2 years, sexual and any teen like school name they can make a sexual innuendo with has been like upset or to cause the upset, something like that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty funny, at least for the last 2 years. But
Yeah, there really wasn't a huge upset this year.
oh, huh.
Duquesne over BYU, that's really not that crazy. Grand Canyon over whatever that 5 seed that they played in the beginning was, but I think I had them winning that game.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get on AI when it gets peaking, and I'm just saying, make me what is it, 16 quintillion, septillion? It's one in like septillion, so I'll just make me like 16 septillion brackets of every possible combination, and then I'll have a perfect bracket.
Yeah, someone's gonna do that.
What do you mean?
Someone will do that.
And then I said that to my friend.
And
I'm
why
like,
not us? Yeah.
But then my friend was like, why don't they just do like $1 per bracket? And I'm like, oh yeah, that literally solves it all. That one idea of like, oh, I can just get AI to make 1 million brackets, but then you're like, oh, $1 per bracket solves it all. Because you know why? $1 billion is a little bit less than a septillion.
Nice.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna have Sylvester Stallone on, I think, right? He's filming some movies here this summer, and he's gonna be on this show, and he's gonna like tell us about the movies. And listen, you guys
Tell
can't.
us what the industry's like.
You can't roast him in the comment section, all right? Like it's getting harder and harder to get these guests. We really can't have like it can't be the time we had Will Smith on here.
I think
that was bad.
I think the dumb thing we do is give these guests our email access, and then they just start reading all the emails. And I'm like, I don't know why we keep.
Yeah, we usually fuck it up when we get like celebrity interviews. But anyway, look forward to that.